The time I bought my entitled mother a house, and she complained. Cast of the story, me and my increasingly entitled mother. Scene setting, small town, in a rural state, 2008 during the housing crisis. My mother's landlord defaulted on his mortgage on the apartments that she lived. The bank was foreclosing on the property, and wanted all of the tenants out. My mother had 6 cats, and 2 dogs at the time. She is also a hoarder, with super shitty credit. Between her shitty credit, and all of her animals, no landlord in their right mind would rent to her. So I came up with the brilliant, I thought I was smart at the time, turns no good deed goes unpunished, that I would buy her a house to live in. I would charge her just the mortgage as rent, and not a penny more. I was also trying to get her bills under control, as she was having her wages garnished by the IRS, see post history for that story. Reducing her expenditures was, and still is critical. I approached her with the plan, and she was ecstatic. I took care of everything with her old apartment. I negotiated with the bank, to get her the most of their buyout, recruiting a bunch of people together with a plan to move all of her shit, and I was applying for pre-approval home loans. It was a lot of work, and I was working a full-time job as well. She didn't help with any of it. I finally got a loan approval of $85,000, and I was happy for it. I needed it to be a rush because she had nowhere to live after 45 days. I made the mistake of telling my mother how much the maximum loan amount was. Houses were cheap, as it was smack dab in the middle of the housing crisis. I found some nice houses in the $55,000 $65,000 price range. I told my mom that if she wanted to go with me, I had found a few to look at. The conversation goes as follows. Me, hey. I went through some listing that my realtor gave me, and I found a few that would work. Wanna go with me to look at them? How much are they? Me, they range from $55,000 to $70,000. That's not how much you got approved for. I want an $85,000 house, not a $70,000 house, and I sure as fuck don't want a $55,000 house. Me, Mom, you can't afford an $85,000 house. Your wages are getting garnished, and we need to reduce your bills. If you get an $85,000 house, that will increase your monthly expenses. Well, you have 2 incomes, so can't you pay a little bit? Me, no. I'm not paying for you to live in a house. Remember that time that you came to me, and made me make cupcakes for your party at school? I spent all night on them, because you didn't give me any notice. Me, I did things for you, so you can do things for me. Me, first off, I was in the 3rd grade. Secondly, I didn't force you to make cupcakes. I may have begged, but you could have told me no. Plus, I was 8. Well, I do things for you, because I love you. We should do things for each other. I deserve an $85,000 house. Me, I'm not buying you an $85,000 house. That's not going to happen. Fine. I don't want to go to look at houses with you. I'm not going to get what I want, so you go. Me, okay. I'm going this weekend, so if you change your mind, let me know. I ended buying her a cute little $65,000 house. It's a 2-bedroom house, with a full unfinished basement. Quite a bit of space for a single crazy cat lady. The house needed some work to pass inspection. Of course I did all of that myself, with no help from her. My mother was less thrilled with my decision on a house. Although, she really couldn't say too much at that point, so she just seated quietly. Does your mother think that an expensive house is a much better house? There is so much more to it than the price. The location, how big the house is, how many rooms, overall condition, stuff like that. Though some aspects can have an effect on the overall price. I remember several years ago when I bought my first house, which was as part of auction at an estate sale for about $10,000 USD, previous owner died, no kids, no living relatives and little mortgage, spent another $5,000 or $6,000 US in cleanup and other things. 6 months later I had to sell it as my company forced me to move to another part of South Africa. Got $250,000 USD for it. Oh my, that's a lot. Sounds like you turned us home into a fairytale palace. I'm impressed.